I'm now going to turn it over, we'll get to that in the discussion, to my friend and colleague, Shailendra Palvia. We go way back, several years working together on various things. The title of Shailendra's talk is Ahimsa Activism to Curb the Epidemic of Gun Violence in America. Welcome to the stage, Shailendra. I'm so glad you could come.
Thank you, Christopher, Jane Miller, and Praveen ji for saving the best for the last. Yeah. So this is the plan. I've got 8 bullets here, and I've got 16 minutes, so I will have less than 2 minutes for each. But I will start with agenda is I'll go with Ahimsa philosophy, what have been the successful Ahimsa and peace movements, epidemic of gun violence in America, colossal loss of human lives amounting to gun holocaust. I've coined this term, gun holocaust. Please pay attention. Gun violence data over time in America, gun deaths international comparison. And what are the culprits? Second Amendment and NRA. And the last one is how can Ahimsa and peace activism help save human lives? So I will read this Ahimsa beautiful poem.
Is it, Shailendra, is it possible for you to share the slides in the full screen mode?
Yeah, I can share in the full, but then I'm just scared it will work or not. Let me try. Okay.
Let's see.
Okay.
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah, it's there. Okay. So fill your heart with compassion and you will spread love, caring for you, those around and above. Ahimsa teaches non-violence and gentle living, treating us thoughtful and always forgiving, aware of our thoughts and the energy we send. We are all connected from stranger to friend. Find peace of mind and within your own heart, the sacred place where Ahimsa will start. Both inward and out, we inspire and grow and support all creatures with this gift we bestow. Be strong with emotion while each time accepting, open to improvement with soulful reflecting. Ask yourself, with these thoughts, I am freeing. Do I support the growth of every word's being? Yes, I do. So let me go to the next slide now. And what is Ahimsa? Most all the people attending here know it, but I think I need to repeat it quickly. I'm not going to read it in the interest of time, but you can all read as well as I can. So not toward anyone, mentally, verbally, physically, directly, indirectly, knowingly, unknowingly, intentionally, unintentionally, by self, not through others, by engaging or asking. And my signature in my email says, thou shalt not hurt any living being by action, speech, or thought. And if you do, please ask for forgiveness. So, action of Hinsa violence refers not only to food habits, wars, but to any violence. And my focus on including gun violence of any kind, homicides or mass shootings or suicides. And here, to quell our anger, we have this beautiful forgiveness day, forget and forgives. And I will read this Prakrit verse. Khame mi sabve jiva khamantu me, mitti me sab bhuvesu, veram mamajam na kenai. I forgive all living beings and seek forgiveness from all. I have friendship with all beings. I have no enmity with anyone. I think most of you know this, but I thought it is worthwhile to read this. So, what are the successful Ahimsa and peace movements in the world? So, Mahatma Gandhi's Salt March in 1930 to protest against the salt tax in India. And perhaps he got his motivation from the Boston Tea Party, which was in 1773, where 342 bags of tea were thrown into the sea, Boston Harbor, to protest against the tax imposed on the tea without representation of the merchants in America. It is before the independence. Maybe this was a precursor to the independence movement in America. And another peace movement was Rosa Parks. She decided to not quit her seat in the bus for a white guy. And that created a revolution. What I'm trying to get at is we need something like this to stop this madness of gun violence, this epidemic of gun violence in America. Something like this. If anybody can give me an idea, I'll be so happy. Then we have Martin Luther King in 1963 in front of 250,000 people in the Washington Monument, making his I Have a Dream speech. Everybody knows about it. It electrified the audience. So I already talked about this. Let's move on to the next slide. And then there was a women and blacks fight for voting rights. How many of you knew that there were nobody except white men were allowed to vote till 1870? People forget. 15th Amendment tried to do away with that by allowing all men, not a single woman, all men to vote also. But then there were certain restrictions, certain constraints. The 19th Amendment allowed women also to vote, but there were still intimidation and non-payment of poll taxes that would prevent them from voting. The 24th Amendment in 1964 took care of that. Finally, the Voting Rights Act of 1965. Why am I going through this? There are peace and Ahimsa movements that can change a situation like the epidemic of gun violence. A lot of people say, oh, it cannot be done, it cannot be done, it cannot be done. Yes, it can be done. That's the main point. And look at the epidemic of gun violence in America. It's horrible, 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 absolutely horrible. Look at the numbers. 1.11 million fatalities due to firearms since 1990 up to 2021. That's a gun holocaust. That's what I call it. 24 million people have, there are 24 million AR-15s and AK-47s among civilians. And because of the COVID or whatever you say, in 2022, 48,204 people died due to gun violence. And you can read the rest of the statistics. I want to save time. I want you to get the picture. And only 2 days back, April 17, there was a mass shooting in Florida State University. So this whole nonsense continues forever, and people don't take action. Ahimsa action, peace action, meditation action, whatever can be done, and we have to do it. Look at this, more data, more statistics. Horrible, horrible, horrible. Number of mass shootings increased from 273 to 656 in 2023. Mass shootings. Mass shootings means 3 or more fatalities in a shooting by a shooter. And by the way, there are more suicides than homicides due to guns. So we can talk about bhav hinsa. So when people get angry, depressed, full of ego, or feeling depressed for whatever reason, they are likely to shoot themselves with an easily accessible gun at their home or wherever, from a Kmart or a Walmart or from a bank. That's how horrible it is. Now I'll read this. After each incident, we go through a charade of prayers, flowers, candles, media coverage, but absolutely no action. That is a pity in this country. We have become a laughing stock of the world. Now, international comparison. Look at this. This is a comparison among developed nations. America has 7.8 homicides per 100,000 people. By comparison, Italy has 0.5. Spain has 0.7. So we stand out as a country of homicides and suicide due to guns. Now, here is statistics about mass shootings in the USA by numbers. By numbers. The one on the top has the most fatalities. So 58 people died in a single mass shooting in Las Vegas in 2017, followed by 49 in Orlando, Florida, followed by Virginia Tech massacre 32. Look at these numbers. They are absolutely horrifying. Any citizen should be, we cannot afford to get ourselves numbed into thinking this is normal. It is not normal. There are a lot of links you can click on to learn more. But one thing I have highlighted is a majority Stoneman Douglas High School shooting. Even though the numbers were not large, but I got really happy at that time because these kids from that high school marched nationally in all cities and globally to stand up against the menace of gun violence. And I thought, finally, I'm so happy I don't have to do anything more. And they even went and had a meeting with Donald Trump. He did absolutely nothing. So here we are. Nothing happens. Okay, here there's more statistics. We pale in comparison to other countries. Canada only 37 gun homicides. USA 79%. And certain countries have zero gun homicides. Those countries include Singapore, Indonesia. And this comparison is just beyond comprehension. Oh my gosh, look at this. The civilian ownership of guns. There are more guns in our country than the number of people. 120 guns per 100 people. And vast majority of them are unregistered. And then on top of that, there are ghost guns. One guy with a ghost gun killed recently in New York City the CEO of an insurance company, health insurance company. We know that, right? So look at the comparison. It's absolutely horrifying. We have absolutely become a pariah nation in terms of not taking care of humans. We try to take care of animals. No, animals also, I doubt it. Anyways, so how much time do we have? I'm trying to go as fast as possible, Christopher.
You have a couple more minutes.
Okay. Since mine is the last, give me 5 minutes. Can you please?
Sure.
Okay, thank you. So Taiwan and India, I mentioned zero civilian firearms. And in Indonesia, firearms are sold and handled by the officer, by the weapons officer of the Indonesian National Police. And here there are absolutely no background checks. Okay. And what happened in Australia? Australia, when they had a big incident, 35 people were killed and 28 people were injured, they confiscated 650,000 guns in a single day or in a week. Why can't we do it? Why are we so weak, so helpless? Then there are organizations which are trying to do something. And our organization is the latest to join. I can click on this for just 30 seconds to look at our organization. This is the organization, and about, you'll see my picture here and some of my associates. Okay. So how do I get back to Zoom now? What do I do? Oh yeah, I got it back. Okay. So moms demand action, students demand action, And then there is Every Town for Gun Safety. That is the largest organization. So Second Amendment, in my view, is the biggest culprit because it was written in a hurry, one sentence that is causing confusion and misinterpretation, boundless misinterpretations by different legislators, different judges, and is causing a lot of harm. So I have dissected this one sentence uh, amendment in 8 arguments. Please read. Please read. In the interest of time, I am not reading because they've tried to change from militia to individuals, and bearing arms, they are trying to connect with AK-47 and AR-15. That is total nonsense. Second Amendment defender is NRA. NRA is another culprit. Moving on, so possible Ahimsa actions. This is, we are coming to the end of my presentation. Marches, media, money, civil disobedience, laws, civic engagement, law enforcement, education. So our organization is focusing mostly on education through youth internships. And we have had 7 youth internships where we have graduated 56 Ahimsa ambassadors. Youth Ahimsa ambassador in the age group 13 to 20. And they are so charged up, passionate to do the work for the next 30, 40 years. That's my hope. And our goal is to have 100 youth Ahimsa ambassadors by the end of 2025. So I need help, all the help I can muster, professors, teachers, facilitators around the country. And here are some of the Ahimsa activism things that our organization has done. The dates are here. So along with Moms Demand Action, we had an interaction with a lawmaker in Georgia, Dr. Michelle Au. Here in a school, we were having a booth and tried to educate people, and I made a little speech. Here we have the Republican lawmaker from Georgia, Mr. Matt Reeves. Here we are in a Rotary Club presentation in Georgia by Veshishi and myself. Here Mr. Suhas Subramanian, who is a US congressman, came to one of our Ahimsa internship. He is a US congressman from Loudoun County in Virginia, good friend of mine. Then in this one, the next Ahimsa internship, we have got Mr. Kannan Srinivasan, who is a Virginia senator, and he is working very hard. Here again, Mr. Suhas Subramanian again on December 24. And this was only yesterday. Ahimsa internship camp, April 2025. Mr. Kannan Srinivasan joined again. So what kind of issue? So this is something that I want to raise for everybody. This is my last but one slide. Is gun violence, epidemic of gun violence, a compassion issue, save human lives issue, avoid lifelong pain of the wounded and disabled issue, public health issue, save colossal healthcare cost issue, save colossal law enforcement cost issue, or is it political? Some people dismiss this issue as political. In my view, that is total nonsense. Now, I just researched on Google 2 hours back, and I found out that 501c3 organizations, that means temples and religious institutions and interfaith organizations, can engage in advocacy and also lobbying for an issue like end gun violence. That's the end of my presentation. Thank you very much for listening. And thank you, Christopher and Parveen, again. Thank you very much.